So another clown movie. That's right, another clown movie coming out pretty soon. I'm seeing it in 2 weeks, a day less than 2 weeks, called It Chapter 2. This is my third most anticipated film of the year. It's titled Doctor Sleep, another horror movie. But I am so excited for this. I mean, the reactions come out. I'm definitely going to read some of these, but the reactions came out for It Chapter 2. The review embargo has not come out yet, so there's no reviews yet. Either though, I mean, you see these reactions and they're practically reviews. I mean, they really are. Just like summaries of their reviews. Whatever. But, so, the first reaction coming from Eric Davis, it says, It Chapter 2 is a terrific companion to It Chapter 1. Similar vibes, great ensemble chemistry with a nice mix of humor and horror. Part 2 plays heavier in tone, dealing with defeating the burden of childhood trauma, and definitely teared up at the very end. Bill Hader steals it. That's definitely the common theme throughout these reactions, and I'm pretty hyped because I love Bill Hader. It Chapter 2, coming from Kate Gardner, It Chapter 2 is an amazing look at friendship and trauma that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. Bill Hader and James Ransone absolutely steal the show. I cannot wait to see it again. Chris and Evangelista says, It Chapter 2 has a rushed, clumsy first act and an odd lack of chemistry among the adult losers, but it eventually finds its footing. This is a big movie, a go-for-broke horror blockbuster, not afraid to make weird choices. Bill Hader steals the show. And something about horror blockbuster, I totally agree with that, because even though I have not seen the movie, this movie is practically a blockbuster. I mean, first of all, it made a buttload of money. And I don't think we've ever seen a horror movie in a long time that people are just so excited for as It Chapter 2. It's insane. I definitely agree with that blockbuster thing. Clayton Davis says, This film does expertly marries fear with childhood emotions, has one of the year's best cast ensembles, definitely has a great ensemble. Chastain and Hader are just toured to... I cannot speak. Chastain and Hader are just tour de forces, just as ambitious as it is frightening. The horror saga boasts fun entertainment and lots of chuckles. Well, that's pretty cool. Haley Fouch says, It Chapter 2 is big and ambitious and can't quite handle the weight of its aspirations, but it's still a fine piece of heartfelt horror. The parts that work really well, and Bill Hader is every bit the scene-stealing standout as we all hoped he'd be. So I'm going to read a couple more, probably like 4 more. So, let's see here. Paul Shirey writes, Really enjoyed It Chapter 2, which serves as the perfect bookend to It Chapter 1. Some great shocks and scares with the young and old cast. Bill Hader absolutely steals the movie, which balances heartfelt emotion with creepy jump scares galore. I'm sure there's going to be some of those. For the most part, I liked It Chapter 2. First half of this movie, pretty long movie, is great, and the new adult cast is stellar. Second half isn't as tight, and overall, It Chapter 2 isn't as tight as the first movie. William Bibiani says, It Chapter 2 has some excellent set pieces and a few great performances, but it's also got big problems. It's very contrived, the jokes get in the way of the scares, and it relies too heavily on flashbacks about the kid losers instead of developing the the adult versions. Well, I mean, that's interesting. So the last one I'm going to read here comes from Juan Upon a Time in Hollywood. That is a great username. So everything that's awesome and imperfect in It Chapter 2 comes straight from the novel. The horror in this one is way more brutal. Awesome. A leaner adaptation would have solved this repetitive loop in the third act. Cast is great, the direction is impressive. Very good, but not great. So overall, the consensus is it's good. It's a good movie, not as good as the first one, but it's definitely a good, solid horror film that you'll have a great time with. That's kind of what I'm saying. I mean, there's some that say it's a clunky mess. I mean, some said that it's too long. Some said that it relies too heavily on flashbacks. And yes, some of the kids went back to shoot new scenes. And I'm kind of worried about that, to be honest, because this ensemble cast looks really good, and I enjoy some of the newcomers in the trailers. So, I mean, yes, I'd love to see the kid actors come back, but it's the adults' time to shine. I mean, you had your movie. But, I mean, we'll see. I've never read the book. I mean, if I was to start reading it now, I doubt I'd get through it, because, I mean, that thing is as long as, like, the Empire State Building. But I like the reactions. I don't love the reactions. Just how like they like the movies, don't love the movies. Now, I have not sky high expectations. 'Cause I never go into a movie with sky high expectations, because then you have a higher chance of being disappointed. I have solid expectations for this movie. Like, I'm just expecting a great Pennywise movie with a great ensemble cast. I'm sure we'll have a great chemistry and it'll be tons of fun. That's what I'm expecting, and that's what I'm kind of getting. Bill Hader's definitely a common theme through this, which is awesome. I hear Pennywise is really scary, so that is also really cool. Some scares. I also heard the CG isn't as good in this movie, which, I mean, I'm not too big on that, because, I mean, what movie did I just see? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, that also had that issue towards the end of the movie, and to be honest, it kind of ruined some of the scares. So hopefully that doesn't happen in Chapter 2. So overall, I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, some people said it's mixed. I'd say it's not as mixed. I said more people enjoy the movie, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Chapter 2 comes out September 6th of 2019. That's right, folks, less than 2 weeks away. Now, something